Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keeping It Real, starring me, David King. I am on here today with a special guest, the next mayor of Bridgeport, Tony Barr. I make sure I got his name right. Anybody kill me. But on all seriousness, though, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a subject that goes on in public schools, but not only just in public schools, all around the United States and practically the globe, obesity. And because that is a very serious issue. I mean, I'm sure we all had a loved one to either get diabetes from obesity or unfortunately even pass away or a lot of health conditions. Me personally, I've had a couple of friends who passed away from obesity and some that live with health problems to this day. For me, I try to watch what I eat, and I try to eat healthy and try to drink healthy. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, that's not the case, and mostly because fast food is cheap, easy to come by, and almost on every corner. I mean, every corner store sells about fast food, and there's always a McDonald's around every block. So today I pretty much want to cover, obesity here in Bridgeport, but also in the United States. And to get some input on that, I want to ask my guest, Tony Barr. First of all, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, Tony, you've been on shows the last couple of weeks, but also I heard, I wasn't at the Board of Ed meeting, but I heard you made some very derogatory statements to one young man. You care to address that?
Absolutely, I have absolutely, and it wasn't in no negative way. A statement was made by myself, and if I offended anyone in reference to what I had said, I saw a young man, and actually his name is his last name is Hernandez. He attends Central High School, and I like to be the first to tell him again that if I apologize, it wasn't said to be a negative thing. It was said from looking at you. I saw a very special friend that we lost because of obesity, and this wasn't myself trying to put you in a negative light. Just wanted you to be aware, because I always used to tell this individual, hey, you have to lose some weight, you got to do this, and next thing I know, I'm attending his funeral. So it wasn't to be degrading or negative to any kid in Bridgeport or any kid in the world. Obesity is a problem, and it's a problem in the United States of America, and it's a problem in Bridgeport, Connecticut. When you look at the kids today, all the different types of fast food restaurants and outlets everywhere. So this creates more opportunity not to eat healthy. I believe that, and what I'm saying is that we have to start addressing that. We have to start looking at what's best for the kids and putting them on the right track. And to the young man that goes to Central High School, and to all his friends, because I got a ton of feedback from his friends, and I also have a lot of people that gave my position. This wasn't a decision or by myself to try to hurt him or anyone else. This was a decision to say we have to start being aware of making an awareness. This is awareness with this thing, and today I'm saying to him again is that I would love to be able to get with you sometime, and we can walk, we can talk. I get, low self-esteem and all of that, and I'm not saying that you're one of those people, because I know you're not that, and that's my opinion, to see you at these meetings and consistently. So I know that you have a good heart. I know that you want what's best for yourself and for everyone, and I want what's best for you. And right now it's your health. Your health needs to be addressed. I want you to eat healthy. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to know that people love you, and Tony Barr loves you.
Well, that was very kind of you. My thing is, since you're planning to be the next mayor, we can't obviously change everything in America. We have to take one step at a time. But starting it for you as the mayor, what do you plan to do when you become mayor about the whole obesity? Because obesity mostly is at home, and for a lot of families and a lot of people, it's part of their culture. I mean, I know myself, being African American, soul food is my culture. We eat very heavy, and especially around the holidays, it's a tradition, it's a family culture kind of thing. I mean, Black Hispanics, we eat very, very heavily, and it's just our way of life in a way.
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is like you said, recognize that as a problem, because most people don't want to face the realities of reality. The reality of all of this is like what we're discussing is that we have to start making sense with these young people in terms of eating habits, in terms of just putting them in the best light. The same way you want to put them in the best light to be successful in the school system, you also want to put them in the best light to be healthy, and those two go together. So that's where I'm focusing at with the young people. And again, Mr. Hernandez, who's a Central High School student, and good-spirited young man, has always had great spirits at these events when I attend. And this is for Harding High School, Central High School, all the high schools and all the grade schools. Everything is important to us. We have to, as teachers, you have to have on the menus and stuff. The menu's supposed to be intact, and at the same time, it's still up to the parents at home to say, look, I'm trying, and all you can do is try, but exercise have to be a part of it. You have to put exercise in, a 5-minute, 10-minute walk each and every day, to burn calories. It's called burning calories. And when I'm elected mayor of Bridgeport, which I will be, I'm bringing Mr. Hernandez along with me to be the young man, the voice for the young people and what I'm talking about.
And there are some people out there who, to be honest, some people don't mind being big. Some people are happy with who they are and how they are. Also, there are some people that have a hard time losing weight even if they try. I know a number of people have said, "Oh, I've tried to lose weight, and it's hard." And it is. I mean, my personal experience, I'm sitting in a wheelchair. If I gain about 50, 60 pounds, it's not just, I can't just walk it off.
Right.
So there are some that have a hard time to lose that weight, and some, they've tried diets that has not worked, and some has that slow metabolism that just, no matter what they do, it's really kind of hard to lose weight. I mean, so if, that's your goal when you become mayor of Bridgeport, that's going to be very tough to do because there's so many different challenges with that. It's not just eating. I mean, some people try and it just doesn't work.
And my response back to you is this. What I'm saying is that we want you to eat healthy. And if you're not eating healthy, I want you to exercise, to burn the calories. In other words, your eating habits are contrary to what they should be. So therefore, we're going to get you to burn energy with a small workout each and every day, something to burn the calories. I didn't say, I agree wholeheartedly with you how tough it is to lose weight for some people, but you can still be healthy and be big by exercising. This is what I'm saying. Because if that wasn't the case, look at the NFL players. They get the best of everything. And some of these guys go 340, 350. But it's a healthy 350 because they're working the body. They're burning it off. They're not letting they're not letting it blow up to 400, is what I'm saying. So you want them to come back to the realities of that, and this is what I'm saying with the young people. The young people, even though they're young people, they're at the stage where they can lose the weight, or should be able to lose the weight, or be put in the best light to lose it because they're still young and their body hasn't fully developed. Is what I'm getting at.
Right. I mean, that's very true. In America, it's just so hard. I mean, we have everything to kind of help us become obese. I mean, besides fast food, we have cars that we use every day. Public transportation,
distractions.
Exactly.
A lot of things that take away from you actually putting that effort into yourself and getting out and doing something with your body. And
with all the cuts and the educational system, it's always a wonder if gym class is ever going to be cut out, and if gym class ever gets cut out, well, there goes your nutrition and exercise right there.
And that's also tough, but at the same time, and again, I want to say to all the Central kids, Tony Barr loves you for responding like you're supposed to, as friends, as people that believe Tony stepped outside of the line. Tony respects that. But we're as an American, we have what's called rights, you know, and the First Amendment gives me the right of freedom of speech. We also have a Constitution. So with the Constitution, everything that goes, and I'm not going to get into the logistics of the rights and things of that nature, but what's most important is that this was voiced not to be a negative. It should have been a positive. At some point, someone has to have said, you know what, young man, you have to start doing something. Like I also stated clearly, if this had anything to do with medical, then I'm truly sorry from the bottom of my heart, because I understand that and get all that. But if it's just enjoying, you know, yourself as a young man, I'm saying, okay, I lost 3 friends of massive heart attacks because of the same scenario, and I didn't see you. I saw my friends when I was speaking. And this is me. I'm an open person. I'm going to always speak my mind. And sometimes it might be a bad thing, but at the same time, it's Tony Barr being Tony Barr. He's not going to sugarcoat things. He's not going to tell you something that's not true. He's always going to give you what he believes is what's best, and what's best for himself, and what's best for what he believes in. And that's where I stand.
Well, like I said, that was, you know, that's very nice of you to apologize to this young man who you said he goes to Central High School.
Central High School.
Central High School, and as a fellow former Hilltopper myself, who also went to Central High School, I also want to apologize, even though I wasn't there. Yes, I mean, it should have been maybe said in a different way, or maybe shouldn't have not been so public as it was that night, because I understand you kind of put him on the spot.
Right, and it was, and that's a true bill, putting the person on the spot, and he handled it like a young man's supposed to handle it. And this is called character. You build character, you build strength, and look what it don't take a negative out of this, take the positiveness out of it. And all the positiveness that I saw out of it was his friends and responding and rallying, and the board education members and you know, didn't sit well with them. But this wasn't about me trying to make things sit well with the board of education. That wasn't my intention, or to put this young man in a negative light. But what my intent was this: that you're putting these kids on contaminated grounds from Harding High School in the GE area, and no one's outraged about that. You know, I'm not saying the board member and friends should not have been outraged about what I said or stated in reference to Mr. Hernandez going on a diet. What I'm saying is that we didn't put a decision has been made to put generations of babies on contaminated grounds, and you can tell me anything you want about all these different companies have okayed it, the grounds are safe, and it's been given a clean bill of health, and that might sound good, might be the right thing to say, and in the long run, the people that are going to suffer and the people that are going to benefit from this is one of the board members, and that's Andre Baker. He has a funeral home, and so we're going to continue to let him know that, you know, your decision was a bad one to every person, every family member, every child in Bridgeport, Connecticut that attends that school.
Or plans to attend that school in the future. Let's not forget, we have those kids who not just are 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, but those who are coming from 7th to 8th grade who are getting getting ready to attend those schools, or attend that school, I should say.
So it's sad, but you know, not going astray on this, because this is I love all the kids of Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm never going to put one kid over the next kid in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I love every child. Every child in Bridgeport, Connecticut should have an opportunity. You know, the same opportunity as every child. Not these kids over here shouldn't have to, because those days are over with. The civil rights leaders, they fought diligently for equal opportunity. They fought for every baby in the United States of America be given the same right to an equal and fair opportunity. And that's all we're asking for. And that's all we've been asking for. And we're not going to settle for anything less than that. I'm not. And I'm going to fight to the, like I keep state all the time, the bitter end. You know, the bitter end.
Well, I've said it a number of weeks as well. We certainly hope that you not only continue, but stay true to your word. I mean, you know, that's our biggest concern, you know, as you go forward, you know, with your, you know, with becoming the mayor of Bridgeport. We hope that, you know, you continue to stay true to your word, and everything that you were saying today, last week, the week before, that, you know, when it comes down to it and that day comes and you're sitting on that pedestal or whatever you want to call it, that you are definitely what you say you are, true to your word. You know, because myself and I know a lot of others, young and old, we certainly hope that you're just not another guy we're going to put there and then you're going to be like, thanks for putting me there. Now I got the power, so now whatever.
No, life is too short to play with the babies, to play with their dreams. You know, in our community, in the inner city community, there's too many tragedy stories. That's, you know, we live in an environment or a society that you never ever get the opportunity to see the true potential in our babies. And that's all the kids in the Bridgeport area that grow up in the Bridgeport environment, in the inner city. I don't care what color you are. You don't get an opportunity to see the next Michael Jordan because he went to the grave at 14. You don't get an opportunity to see the next Roberto Clemente, you know, a great Puerto Rican ball player, because the young Spanish kids or Puerto Ricans are going to the grave at 14 and 15 years old as well. You don't get the opportunity to see the next, you know, Whitey Ford baseball pitcher, white kids. Because there's white kids here too in our environment, you know. So we're not trying to make it seem like it's all what it is, but it's the truth is the truth. The truth is that I want every kid in Bridgeport, Connecticut to be given a fair shake in life, a fair opportunity. And a lot of the kids either end up in the graveyard or in a cage for life. So you never get to see their potential. But then you see what they're doing in prison, and you say, wow, if he'd have exercised this before as a young kid, really made a mistake, and it cost him his life in a cage for the rest of his life, and you don't get an opportunity to see his development. But we want to develop minds. We want to develop young people. I want all the babies in Bridgeport, Connecticut to know that Tony Barr is never going to turn his back on you. And sometimes Tony's going to say things that you might not like, but this doesn't mean that Tony doesn't love you. Tony loves you because he wants you to be in the best possible life, best in health, best in education, best in life. This is what this is all about. It's not about me.
It's not about you. Yes, I agree with that, but you're going to be the next mayor. So, I mean, do you think that your tactics of being the next mayor are a little, how you say, hard? Your average mayor has, I guess, a certain, how you say, look, a certain way that they present themselves. You are a little bit on the different side. You are more, how you say, straight out of the projects kind of mayor. I mean, do you think that that's what we need now, that kind, or do you feel that sometimes you're a little too strong?
Okay, and that's a very, very great question, and I'm going to answer it as honestly as I possibly can. This is what's needed. When you've been mistreated for generations and not understanding your full potential, this is what full potential is all about. When you don't believe that you're worthy of anything, then you get what goes with that, and you become acceptance of your environment. Tony Barr is not accepting anything. He's always been a person that says, you know what, I might have had some shortcomings here, but I'm going to scrape myself off the ground, brush myself off, and move forward. So if you've been used to not having anything and you don't believe you should have anything, that's part of the problem. My thing to everyone in Bridgeport, Connecticut This is the most important election in the history of this country coming up next year. I need everyone to be registered. I need everyone to take serious their voting rights. I need all the parents and to tell their kids and give them the truth. And parents, you have to start being responsible. I'm telling you to call on your church leaderships and tell them whether if they're doing positive by the church, if they're not doing those things, then you know what decision to make from there. I'm not coming to sit here and tell you, try to condemn the church or anyone else. That's not my goal. What would I get out of that? What would Tony Barr get out of coming on these shows and slandering the mosques, the synagogues, the churches, the leadership in the churches and the mosques and the synagogues? That would be a disrespect to you people. But when I speak with members of these different outlets, and you give me something that I'm not in agreement with, and that doesn't make you bad, doesn't make me bad neither. It's just that we just agreed, and I hope as men and as leaders that we have the right to agree to disagree, and move forward with courage. And I also wanted to elaborate on one other thing. People say or think that that Kenneth Mose is an enemy to me, Kenneth Mose Jr. He's not my enemy on no level. This is the only thing I'm concerned about with Kenneth Mose Jr. is what's going on the Board of Education. What are you doing for the children or not doing for the children in Bridgeport, Connecticut? That's what Tony Barr is concerned about. I don't care about what type of debts or problems, or personal problems, whatever those matters are. I pray for you, brother. But as far as me trying to slander you in terms of business engagements or lack of business, that's none of my business. I'm not chasing what you're doing. I'm only concerned about what Kenneth Mose Jr. does when he sits on the Board of Education. All that other stuff is irrelevant to Tony Barr. That's all I'm saying. And if these are the things that are negative in my eyes, when I am mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut, I will fight hard as hell to make sure that we get you off the Board of Education. It's that simple. The same way you're going to fight hard to keep me away from being the mayor. So this is how this thing works. So I don't have no hatred towards you. I'm a man. And whatever you do with yours outside of that, it's Kenneth Mose's business and none of Tony Barr's.
That's very well said. For me, I wonder, like, you're gonna be the next mayor. Do you feel you're gonna be able to handle that pressure? Because there's gonna be times that the mayor, like you just said, a lot of things people are not going to agree with, and some people are going to like you, some people are not going to like you, and if you don't back up a word or something you said you were going to do,
right,
those people who were on your team may turn and know, I'm done with him. Are you ready to handle
Tony Barr? Tony Barr is ready to handle all new endeavors. And I'm gonna say this: these are the people that cares about Tony Barr because he cares about them. I care about the youth, the babies, putting them in the best possible light. I care about the elderly, putting the elderly in the best possible light. The disabled, putting them in the best possible light. The fire department, putting them in the best possible. The police department, the hospital, putting everyone that should be put in a favorable light, putting them in a favorable light, giving them an opportunity to understand that this thing can work. This is how it's supposed to work. So we're looking to put everybody in the light that they should be in, a light of success. Looking at all the things that this town here has that doesn't make sense. We're not going to get into the tax stuff. Everyone in the country knows if you want to go somewhere where you have to pay all the ridiculous taxes, come to Bridgeport. Or move out of Bridgeport. Well, the people are not going to leave Bridgeport. And the thing is that we have to start bringing mamas and papas back here, creating jobs and creating different incomes. And you can't have 80% of the people working here in Bridgeport and cities capacities and leaving, taking the revenues out of Bridgeport. That doesn't make sense. I'm encouraging you that you have to come back and live here. Come live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Let's make this the best city in the state of Connecticut and in the United States of America, because it deserves that. We have all the people in play to do that if they truly want to do that. So this is what this is about.
When you're talking about jobs, when you mean jobs, do you mean jobs for just, okay, people who are looking for jobs? You mean like jobs even for those who, well, like who come out of the prison system who can't get a job, and those who have a hard time, maybe academically, it stops them from getting a job. You know, those people, do you plan to have them being able to get work?
That, and this is, and I'm gonna say this and show you something, because this is very important. When you're trying to come back into society from prison, and how difficult it can be for you to, like he just stated, to find work, like Mr. King just stated, and you don't have that opportunity, and the pressure starts to mount, and your rationalization turns into a negative, and before you know it, you done woke up and you're in prison again. So what we're going to do is that we're going to give those people every opportunity to be successful, because they paid their debt to society, and they should have the right to come out and be put in a position, not be given a job, but be put in a position to make it work for them in the long haul, and get the prison, break the cycle with the prison system. It's a cycle that can be broken. You can break it if you choose to break it, or you can let succumb to your surroundings and continue to be a part of the circle. And yes, I am truly going to make a strong commitment to every person, to every felon in Bridgeport, Connecticut, to put you in the best light as well. You deserve the same as everyone else. And that's my word as a man. And I want every felon in Bridgeport to get your voting acts in order, because you're a part of society. You're not less than the people that are running the city. You're not less than the people that have these great jobs. In fact, you have more to bring, because you're willing to show that you're worthy of being back in society with respect and dignity. And that's what this is about.
Well, you know, we're coming to a close on the show. But very quickly, can I say, you know, when it comes to the schools, what about those who have a lack of education, for them to get employment?
Those are the same things that have to be really quick, because the show is roughly numbered.
Right.
But the thing is that they will be given, they will be put in the same possible scenario as the felons and everyone else in general. We're going to make it work for you. We're going to make establishment work. We're going to say, listen, okay, they have learning disabilities and not as educated. We're going to make trades. We're going to give the trades and things back an opportunity. Bring things back that make sense.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it right here on Keeping It Real from Tony Barr. When he becomes mayor, this is what he plans to do. And of course, we wish you the best of luck, you know, as you go forward to become mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David King, sitting alongside the next mayor of Bridgeport, Tony Barr. You've been watching Keeping It Real. Thank you, and peace out.